Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all my Cardfight Vanguard Youthberk Skyfall Arms Rebuild deck profile. This is the newest form for Youthberk, completely updating the deck with a new Revel Dress option and a bunch of other cards to help support the Revel Dress Vanguard, which is meant to basically, in a sense, overdress with your Vanguard, for those of you that don't know. The new Skyfall Arms Rebuild, and then the new form for the Revel Dress ability as well, being the Youthberk Revel form exist as your main go-to play in the deck. So very, very happy with the results of the deck, and big thanks to my buddy Anthony for letting me borrow his deck for the video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the ride deck. For starters, we have the Energy Generator. Our starter is Unsullied Eyes Youth. When wrote upon, if you want second, draw a card. Our grade 1 is Squire of Spear Streaks Youth. When wrote upon, by Sorrowful Arden Light Youth. So last one, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to one card from among them, reveal it, put it in your hand, and if it is a Youthberk in its card name, you can call it to rearguard if it's a grade 2 or less card. Shuffle the deck afterwards. So then it just gives you setup for your Revel Dress, being able to search your deck for the proper grade 3s, for you then to be able to use Revel Dress with our grade 2, being Sorrowful Ardent Light Youth, when wrote upon by a unit with the Revel Dress ability. Energy Blast 3, choose a grade 2 or greater unit from your drop and put it into your hand. So just add back power if you have to use the Revel Dress form for the discard option for the ride deck, so the Energy Blast usage for the deck as well, with our grade 3 being our main go-to Youthberk Skyfall Arms rebuild. So with the additional copy that we run in the ride deck, we're also running 3 additional copies in the main deck as well. We have the 1 spot of the original Skyfall Arms just to fill in for the spot for this card. As well, with Revel Dress, at the end of the battle of this unit attack, to perform one of the following. Choose up to one card with Revel form and its card name from your hand. Ride as standing, gets drive -2 to end of turn. Or you can counter +1, choose a card with Revel form and its name from your drop, and ride it as stand, and it gets drive -2. So being able to use your Revel form cards from your drop for just the use of a counterblast makes up for this card's consistency of being able to Revel form with these cards when need be. And when this unit is wrote upon during the battle phase, discard a card from your hand, choose one of your vanguards, and increase or decrease its drive to 1 until end of turn. So just being able to perform the drive boost as well, being able to use so without any other units on the field, is a major help for the Youthberk deck as well. And when this unit would ride on a grade 3 card with Revel form and its card name, bind that unit that was rode instead of putting it into the soul. So this also kind of makes up and being able to use Exist's own abilities for the bind zone with this card. So additionally, it would be our main go-to Revel form as well. So 4 copies of it, just having 1 copy of Gust for the final spot, but definitely have 4 of to run the deck. When it's placed on Vanguard by the Revel Dress ability, perform all the following. You can Energy Blast 3, choose one of your rear guards and stand it. All your front row units get plus 10,000 to end of turn. If your bind zone has a card with Revel form in its card name, they get plus 20 instead of plus 10. And being able to perform all of the following just gives you more and more pressure. If your bind zone has a card with the same card name as this unit, it gets plus 1 critical until end of turn. So this is what makes up for being able to perform the same Revel Dress with your Vanguard exist, to then have added pressure for the second time you do it. And then on the Vanguard, at the end of your turn, choose a card with Revel Dress from your soul and ride it as stand. So instead of going into the soul, it'll go into the bind thanks to your Skyfall Arms rebuild, and then set up for the next time you Revel Dress. Additionally, we're also running 2 copies of Youthberk Revel Form Tempest for more of a defensive option for your Revel forms as well, and just having more options in the drop to be able to use for this card, giving you the added option to counter +1, reveal the top 2 cards of your deck, choose one of your opponent's rear guards with the same grade as the reveal cards, put it on the bottom of the deck, and put all the reveal cards into your hand. So just added search and setup thanks to this additional Youthberk Revel form. For the grade 2s, we're running 4 copies of Knight of Rebuking Dewey Jalik with this card. When it's placed on rear guard, counter +1, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 card with Youthberk and its card name from among them, reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle the deck. So more search power, just being able to search out the needed Youthberk forms using this grade 2. And when it attacks, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Youthberk, it gets plus 5 to end of turn, making it a 15k attacker on its own for more reliable hits to be able to swing into your opponent's Vanguard. If you want, Tethful rebuilt can also be a replacement for this card if you have that grade 2 to run in the deck. But our new grade 2 that we run is the Armor Breaking Knight Dorian. When during your turn on rearguard, if your bind zone has a card with Rebel form, it gets +5. And on rearguard, when this unit stands by the ability of your Vanguard with Youthberk, can +1, draw a card. To end a turn, when your opponent will call cards from the guard circle for this battle, they must call 2 or more at the same time. So it's a guard restriction card, and being able to restand it with your own Vanguard's ability adds to the pressure that this card can perform, and the 15k on its own also to attack. The 3 additional options for our grade 2s in the deck, depending on what you want to run, are the 2 copies of Knight of Shockbreak, Ludoir, and then the 2 copies of Knight of Fracture, Schneisel, and the 2 copies of Knight of Plowing, Dolbrag, for the added plus power options for Dolbrag, the additional search power for Youthberk, adding into your hand with Schneisel, and then Ludoir being one of the newer cards from set 5 for the deck, giving you an Energy Blast option for when this card's discarded during your ride phase or main phase, having a grade 2 or grade Vanguard with Youth to Energy Blast 3 and call it to rearguard as a way to fill up the rearguards for those added spots. For the grade 1s, we are running for the additional units for the grade 1 lineup, being 4 copies of Bard of Brave Instrument, Corino. When it's placed on rearguard from the deck during the turn, or discard from hand during your turn, if you have a Vanguard with Youth and its card name, search your deck or drop it up to 1 Rebel form, and its card name, reveal it, put it in your hand. And if you search your deck, shuffle it, and if you put a card in the hand, choose a card from your hand and put it into the soul. So it makes up for more guaranteed search power with our units as just a grade 1 to be able to do so when it's placed on rearguard from the deck during your turn or discard from hand to set up and guarantee your Revel form play. The 4 copies of Witch of Acclamation, Sequena. During your turn, if you have a Vanguard with Youthberk and its card name, it gets +2. And when your unit is placed on Vanguard by the Revel Dress ability, put this unit in the soul, choose one of your Vanguards and increase or decrease its drive to 1 until end of turn. So just added pressure as well for the drive to 1, because with our youth option for being able to road upon discarding a card from your hand, sometimes if you just don't have the card to discard, it comes in handy to use the Sequena option to then at least guarantee more soul buildup, and then the drive to 1 as well if you want to preserve cards in your hand to do so. And then lastly, the Sentinel lineup being the 1 Elementary of Sanctitude and the 3 copies of Aegis Mare Dragon, just having the triple drive option with the Blitz Order in the deck. And then our trigger lineup consisting of the 7 critical for the added pressure with our Vanguard's own critical +1. The 4 fronts, because with the Energy Blast we are restanding one of our rear guards to be able to attack again. The 4 heals being the generics, Recuperate Angel, and then our last being the Overtrigger or Valnute, just to have a stand rearguard option on top of the other one to then use for the added pressure of after it attacks to then be able to restand again and swing once more. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Once again, big thanks to my buddy Anthony for letting me borrow his Youthberk deck for the video. And until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Qualia out.